Hi everyone, and welcome to Basket Class number 2. I really hope that you made the sweet and sassy strawberry basket in whichever size you chose, and I hope you really enjoyed that process. Basket weaving is one of those things that it can very much zen you out right away. You get going and then hours have passed and you didn't even realize it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please, if you've got any pictures or what have you, please feel free to go to Instagram and post those. I would just hashtag sweet and sassy strawberry basket. I would love to see those. Now for basket number 2, we're going to build on the skills that we learned in basket number 1. So basket number 2 is going to be this beauty right here. This initially was going to be an Easter basket, but I have a tendency to build really big baskets. You'll find that when you start basket weaving, you may just naturally gravitate towards big baskets, or you may gravitate towards small baskets. We all tend to have things that we like to do. I love big baskets because to me, a big basket means I can hold a lot of things and I can use it for a lot of different applications. So for this one, we're going to call it a market basket because that's what it kind of became. This basket, we're going to quickly go over how to color your reed, and it's really easy. You can use basket color, basket dye. I, quite frankly, go to the grocery store, and this is RIT dye. It's relatively inexpensive, and it can be found anywhere. So that's what I like to do. I just also tend to dye on warm days so that I can do it outside because I don't want to run the risk of splashing dye all over my carpet or in my house. We do have an insert here. You do not have to have an insert to just put in any kind of painting you may or want to, or decals that you might want. We also are going to learn how to rim our basket. So that's new to this basket. You're going to learn how to rim. We're going to just simply rim with 1/2 inch. Again, I'm trying to keep our material costs low. And rimming with the 1/2 inch flat is a lot easier than the flat oval. We will weave with the flat oval because I need to show you how to shave that down, but I'm going to tell you I'm not even great at the flat oval. I'm constantly not getting it to match up. In this basket, the important thing we're going to learn is how to do a handle insert. Now, as you see, this handle doesn't go all the way into the basket. This is a handle insert, meaning that it ends at some point. So we're going to learn how to put in a handle insert. We're going to learn how to do the wrap handle. And we're even going to learn how to do this cute little pattern that we have. It's a simple little design pattern, but it kind of spiffs it up a little bit. So gather your supplies, cut to the cut pattern below for your weavers. We do not need to soak the handle insert, but get everything soaking and let's start the market basket. So let's start our To the Farmer's Market basket We're going to start by taking out our 60-inch piece of flat, and with the wrong side facing us, we're going to put it perpendicular to us. We're going to build from the center out. Now we're going to have 5 pieces of 1/2 inch flat on either side for a total of 11 pieces. If you are following my pattern exactly, I did on either side of the handle insert natural, green, teal, green, and then natural. And then all we're going to do is repeat that with the parts that are going to go parallel to us, but using a piece of natural 1/2 inch flat in place of the handle piece that we've got on the perpendicular or on our warp version. Once your spacing is correct, make sure that you clip all 4 corners with clothespins. Remove your round reed from your water. We're going to bend it, offsetting the round reed ends by at least 2 inches or more. Then we're going to take some needle nose pliers. See, when we don't use needle nose pliers, it snaps. We'll have to go back and do this the right way. Now, doing it the correct way, we will take our needle nose pliers. We will again take a round reed piece, offsetting the ends by at least 2 inches. And then we will now take the needle nose pliers on the end that's bent, and we will clamp them down. This will loosen the fibers so that it's easier to bend around our 1/2 inch reed. Starting with an under, we're going to start twining around our basket, keeping it as close to the base as possible without going underneath it. Now twine 3 times around the base of the basket, keeping as close to the base as possible. If you are not certain how to do the corners of the basket, please reference the Sweet and Sassy Strawberry Basket. Having gone around 3 times, we need to make sure that our base is very wet, because we do not want those weavers cracking as we upright. So soak your basket, or you can spray it before you start uprighting them, and then we're going to do the bending motion that we did in the Sweet and Sassy Strawberry Basket to do our uprights. We're going to use a lot of clothespins, and we're going to do the stops and start weaving like we did with the strawberry basket. Back at our starting point, we're going to again go over 4, sinking our weaver behind the 4th spoke, the 4th upright, so that you cannot see it from the front or the back. Starting from another side, we are going to again do the stop and start weaving all the way up the sides. If you're following my pattern, I did 2 rows of natural, then green, then teal, then green, then an insert, green, teal, green, natural, and then 3 rows of twining.
as you weave up the side, periodically take your insert and measure it against the baskets to determine whether you have to come in or go out a little bit more. Coming around to our starting point, make sure you go over 4. This is also a way of knowing if you are on pattern or if you accidentally skipped 2 or 1 or what have you. If you come around and you're off pattern and you're not going to end behind that spoke, you need to go back and check your weaving to see where you're off. Starting on any 2 consecutive spokes with the exception of your 60-inch handle insert piece, we're going to wrap around, twining 3 rows of twine, either number 2 or number 3, all around your basket. Again, if you run out, just slide another piece of round reed in its place and go around. It is not uncommon for your round reed to twist around itself like here. Just draw your fingers through the round reed, flip it around a couple of times to release it. You'll have to do this several times in weaving the basket, especially a large basket. Here we're showing that we've gone around 2 times there, and the next one we're showing 3. So this is back at the beginning, and what we're going to do is we're going to just snap it off, hide it behind there, and snap it off. Now comes the time for our handle insert. Locating that 60-inch piece of flat, we're going to set the basket on its side, and using a flathead screwdriver, we are going to go down through that twining and through all that weaving, and we're going to press the end of the insert right down on along the inside. So that 60-inch piece of flat is going to be on the outside of this insert. We're going to do this on both sides. Make sure that your basket is very damp at this point. We don't want to hear any snaps. We don't want anything breaking. If you've done it correctly, you will not be able to see where it ends. It'll be sunk behind a weaver, and you won't see it from the front either. Flip your basket around and do the same thing on this side. Adjust your insert so it's well hidden behind your weavers. Now take your 60-inch flat, wrap it over that insert, overlapping it, and hold it down with a clothespin. We are going to use a flathead screwdriver or a packing tool to pack our baskets. This is what will separate a shoddily made basket from a good basket. My basket teacher used to tell us you want to pack as though if it could hold water, it would. And you'll see right here how much space we gain by packing that basket down. We want each consecutive row to be up tight, but not bending the reed, but right on top of the reed that is below it. Now we're going to finish off our basket by cutting and tucking. We're going to go over the 3 rows of twining and we're going to sink it behind one of our weavers. We want to make sure you can't see it from the front or the inside. Now, I'm teaching you the way I was taught. For what I was taught, this was supposed to make the basket a stronger rim. Some basket weavers will do every other one, cutting or tucking. So it's up to you which way you want to do it, but I'm going to teach you the way I was taught, which is cut and tuck every spoke. When I say that they cut and tuck every other one, I mean that they actually cut the spoke. I believe it's the one that's in the front, and they will cut and tuck the one next to it that is underneath. I may be wrong about that, but that's the way I'm told that they do it. Onto the wrapped handle. We're going to take our 1/4 flat oval, securely soaked, and we want a long piece. We're going to take the round side of that and we're going to sink that on the inside of that insert, at least down through the twining and at least through 1 row of the weaving. 2 would be better. Once we've got that sunk down, we're going to bend that at a 90-degree angle, and keeping parallel to the last row of twining, we're going to start wrapping it around the basket. So as we wrap, the round side of that flat oval will be facing us. It'll be on the outside. As we wrap around the handle insert and our flat, we want to keep them tightly wrapped, and we want to keep them one against each other, not on top. Do not overlap them. If you have to stop at any reason, hold your weaving with a clothespin to keep the tension on there. Now, for my pattern at about row 25, I decided to add a 1/4 piece of colored flat oval. Now, again, you saw me just wet it. We want to make sure we keep our reed wet. And for my pattern, I believe I did 3 wraps under, and I believe I did 3 or 5 wraps over. And when I talk that, I mean right here. I'm going underneath that flat oval. And then I'm doing that for about, I believe, 3 times. And then I did it, I think, over 3. Okay, apparently wrong on both counts. It looks like my pattern was under 3 over 4. Again, it can be anything you choose. This was just what I chose to do. Now at some point you're going to run out of your 1/4 reed. So we're going to cut a point on both ends. And then what we're going to do is loosen up a few rows of weaving. We're going to stick the new 1/4 oval and we're going to slide it in to where we just got done weaving. Then what we're going to do is we're going to tighten that weaving back down and we're going to bend the previous 4th reed that we ran out of, 4th flat oval, on an angle, and then we're going to weave over that. And so it will make a nice, neat join on the inside of the insert. continue your pattern until you reach the other side. Keep looking to make sure that you stop your pattern parallel to what it was on the other side of the handle. You'll see here in a minute, we'll show you how that wrap looks on the inside to see how we just keep wrapping over and it makes it nice and neat. And you're going to keep weaving over and you'll never see where that end ends. When we get near the end, we're going to wrap it again so it's parallel to those 3 rows of twining. And then we're going to bend it at a 90-degree angle. And we're going to sink it back into our weaving. We're going to cut it off and sink it back into at least 1 or 2 rows of weaving. Now forgive the change in light. We are back inside because quite frankly by this point it is too cold to weave out on the porch. So now we're going to put on our 1/2 inch piece of flat that's going to be the inside of our rim. We're going to do this both on the inside and the outside. And we're going to overlap a little bit, so maybe 1 inch, maybe 2 inches. And we're going to do this on the outside and the inside. Once we've measured that out, put 1 clothespin on the inside piece and soak it in your water. Do the same thing with the outside piece, and we're going to put 2 pieces or 2 clothespins on that so we know that's the outside piece. Now we're going to take out some flat oval. We want a piece that's going to be as big as we can because we don't want to try to start and stop this when we're going to be lashing our basket. Putting a point on our flat oval, we are going to go and sink this from the inside to the outside. So we're going to basically be putting this with the round side down again, and we're going to try to bring it through. You'll see we're going to go through the twining, sink that through coming from the bottom up. We're going to go around the front, and then I usually will sink it maybe under the last, which would be the first row of round reed. And then if we can, we want to do that twice. It's going to be very tight in here. Excuse me. Here you can see I was lazy. I only did it once. It felt like it was strong enough, so I thought I could get away with it. We're now going to line the inside of the basket. We do not want to end this on a handle if we can avoid it. So we're going to find the wrong side of the flat, and we're going to put it against our basket, and we're going to wrap it around on the inside. Once we have the inside completely pinned down with clothespins, and use quite a few, we don't want gaps here, then we're going to take the outside piece and we're going to do the same with the outside, facing the wrong side to the basket. And we'll use the same clothespins we've got there to hold both rims down. Now it's important here to not start at the exact same place on the outside that you started with the inside. So pick another area and start there to start your second rim. Now here's a chance to use up all those broken or small pieces of round reed or seagrass. What we're going to do is we're going to use this as rim filler. This is another quality type of thing. A lot of your cheap baskets that you buy in the dollar store or what have you, they won't have a rim filler. This is just a nice way of finishing it off. We usually go handle to handle. You can use up all your little tiny broken pieces and it makes it just look a lot nicer. So here what we're going to do is we're going to make a hole in between our spokes, and using that lasher we're going to bring it around to the front so that the round side of the flat oval is facing us. And we're going to feed that through with the pointed end. We're going to go all the way around the basket this way, and we want to make sure that this is done tight, because we don't want it so tight that it gaps, but we want it tight enough to hold that rim on both the inside and the outside. So you'll see me pulling it here. We want to make it tight because that rim is really your structural strength of your basket. Now coming to the handle, we're just going to wrap it around the handle just as though it were another spoke. You can also, if you want, do a cross here and then go back to your lashing. We also want to make sure that we go over where the join is, and as you do that you will want to cut it on an angle so that it hides underneath your lashing. In the process of doing your lashing, your 1/4 flat oval will get twisted. Just take a moment to straighten it out before you tighten it down. Now here you see we're coming to that join. We're going to figure out where that join ends and cut it at an angle so it's hidden by the lashing. Once we're back at our starting point, we're going to do the same process we started to start this basket. We're going to bring, this time from the front, the end weaver up. We're going to try to feed it underneath all that rim filler and go down on the inside. If we can, we want to try to do it 2 times. I believe we'll see here my lasher finally gave out and it literally broke, but it was secure enough that I felt good that it was okay. Okay, once we're done with this, you're going to see here we've got the 2 start and stops over in the right of this frame. When the basket's completely dry, we will clip those off so we don't have to worry about it. So here is the finished basket. You will notice that the handle piece is a little hairy. We will handle that in a moment. I will show you how to burn all those hairs off. We need to make sure that the basket is securely wet before we do this because we don't want to just burn the basket we made. If it does get some soot on it, once after we've burned it, you can simply take a sponge or a rag and you can wipe the soot away. But again, it has to be very wet before we do this. Taking your little aim and flame or a candle or a lighter, making sure the basket is very wet, you're going to go around your basket and you're going to burn off all those little hairs. As long as your basket's wet, it will not catch on fire. But it has to be very wet.